Hey YouTube, it's Marita and welcome to another edition of the Nurse Lounge. In this edition, we're actually going to talk about bridge programs, but specifically we're going to talk about the LPN to RN bridge program. So if you want to see what I am talking about, you need to stay tuned. Dr. Marita P. I am a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for 16 and a half years. I am a OB/GYN, well baby nursery nurse is my specialty. I'm a nurse educator currently. I'm an associate professor. I teach at a HBCU and I'm doctorally prepared. So when I come to you knowing what I'm talking about. Now, with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this question that someone who watched one of my videos left for me, a comment that she left, and she basically wants to know or wants me to provide advice for the LPN to RN bridge programs. So she's already an LPN and I guess she anticipates or plans on going back to school. And what advice or tips do I have for those who planning to do so, or those who have been out of school for a while and you're planning on going back to school to do this program? So here we go. So let's start with the latter first. So let's start with, if you've been out of school for a while, what should you be doing right now to prepare yourself for any program, bridge program or a traditional program? You've been out of school for a while, because sometimes LPNs will do a bridge program, or sometimes they will say, okay, I'm just going to go the regular route and do a traditional program. Some LPNs will go from LPN, then go to a regular 2-year program, traditional program, or go to a regular 4-year program. But sometimes they bridge. Okay. So there's programs that will bridge you from one to the other, and it's supposed to be faster and things like that. So let's talk about the person first who has been out of school for a while. What tips do I have for them? If you've been out of school for a while, more than likely you will have to take the T's at most institutions. If you don't have to take it at your institution, then disregard that part. But you have to take something called the T's. And I really would recommend you go getting a book. A book you can buy on Amazon. So you can buy it on Amazon, and you basically, it tests 4 areas. Usually you're reading, math, critical thinking, and something else, science, I want to say. And it's very specific to see if you are ready to, if you would be able to be successful in healthcare. Now, I don't know if that's a requirement for LPN programs, but I think it is a requirement for most RN programs. So first and foremost, if you find out that your school requires that, go ahead and get you a book and start working on that now. You can take that test, I want to say up to 3 times in a year. So you want to go ahead and study, take the test, get the best grade score you can get before you move on and get ready for nursing school. One other thing, when it comes to being out of school for a while, you want to do your research, because sometimes they make you take prerequisites, and sometimes, this is in general, sometimes they say, okay, you're ready to come into the program as you are, meaning that your classes are not out of date. So I'm kind of speaking to two different issues here. So if you are someone who's going to go to a traditional route, they want you to have certain prerequisites done. So you may need to go back to school first to get your prereqs done. If you've already taken some prereqs, you want to see how long it's been since you've taken them, because sometimes they won't take classes that are over 5 years old. So the key to all this is research, 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 and then ask questions. Because you don't want to go in there blindly. You don't want to go in there and be frustrated because you don't have something you need to have done because of the fact that you didn't do your research. So find out if your classes are too old. Find out if you got to take the T's. Find out how many hours of prereqs you have, and then kind of count backwards from the time that you actually want to start school. So if you want to start school, let's just say this is now January of 2021, and let's say you want to start school in August of 2022. Right now, you need to be working on looking at to see if your classes are too old. If not, see what prerequisites that you need. If not, go ahead and get those classes done. So take those classes at a community college and have them transfer over into your university if that's what you're going to do, because community colleges are cheaper for your classes. Also, if you're going to do that, go ahead and make sure it transfers over. There's no point of you wasting your time trying to get into these classes or trying to get into a program that doesn't work for you because you don't have all your classes that you need. That's what you want to do if you haven't been to school in a while. You want to brush up on a few things, even if you have a few, math books or college algebra books or something that you need to take, because keep in mind, if it hasn't been a long time, you have to get yourself mentally ready as well for school. If it's been a long time, you have to get yourself mentally ready. You have to get yourself ready if you have children, how you're going to do childcare when it comes to clinicals, because you will have to go to clinicals if you do a traditional or a bridge program. You have to go to clinicals. They don't care about the fact that that there's inclement weather and they've canceled schools. You have to find a solution. You have to have a plan A, B, C, D for everything when it comes to clinicals and stuff like that. So be mindful of those types of things. But the biggest thing for if you've been in school for a long time is preparation. How much research have you done? How much prep time have you done? Have you taken the appropriate entrance exams? Do you have your financial aid together? Do you have your money together? That's something you got to think about. Also, a lot of times with the LPN to RN programs, they are for working nurses. That's a route that you may want to take if you are already working and you plan to stay to work. Whereas some of these other traditional programs don't want you working. They will tell you, we don't want you to work. So LPN to RN programs are typically made for working nurses, working LPNs. So I would say if you're already LPN and you are going to continue to work, your best bet may be to go to a bridge program, because they kind of have it. Now, I'm not saying the rigor is not there. It's still rigorous. You still have to do a lot of work in a little time. But again, it's made for the working nurse, working adult. With that being said, a lot of times clinicals are on the weekends. How do I know? Because I teach the clinicals on the weekends. I work on Saturday and Sunday in the hospital, teaching nursing students the LPN to RN. The program I teach in is a LPN to BSN program. So just don't think LPN to RN. LPN to RN could mean 2-year program, an ASN, or LPN to RN could mean BSN. So I don't know if it will specifically say BSN, but the program I teach in specifically says BSN. It says LPN to BSN program specifically. That's what I'm teaching in. So, and those students work still. They work, I would say part-time at least. And we have clinicals on Saturday and Sunday. And sometimes in the summertime, we have clinicals whenever the hospital has an opening for us. And yes, with this particular school, we are actually going to clinical. They cut our hours in half. Meaning that we go to clinical instead of 4 days they only go 2 days in the hospital, and they do a virtual the other 2 days. So they cut their time in half because of COVID, but they still go to clinical at our institution. I know where I teach full-time at, we are not going to clinical at all. And so some schools are not going to clinical, some schools are. You need to be mindful of that and be ready for that either way it goes. Whether you go, whether you don't go. Some programs are requiring you to come into class. Like my school, we're doing hybrid teaching right now. So that basically means they come to class about 3 days per semester. So they are told. So I've had students who have to drop class because they're like, well, I don't feel comfortable with COVID. Well, you in nursing school. So, I don't want to say that sounds dumb to me, but it sounds a little dumb to me. If you're going to go to nursing school, where when you get out there, you're going to be in the midst of COVID, you need to be prepared to come to class. Now, for us, we do social distancing. You have to wear masks and things like that. We have everybody 6 feet apart or whatever. I showed a video where I was trying to get, my students lined up in a way where they could be 6 feet apart. But you go into nursing school, sis. So why are you complaining about the fact that you don't feel comfortable? If you don't feel comfortable right now going to school during COVID and they require you to come to campus then you need to wait till COVID is over before you start a nursing program, period. So I digress. Those basically are the things. When it comes to LPN and RN programs, I don't really know the question she had in terms of tips or advice, but the biggest thing is know that it's rigorous. It is rigorous. It is designed for the working adult to get you in and out of school. So it is. The one I teach in is pretty much, I want to say, an 18-month program. I want to say 15 to 18 months, they're in and out, okay? And then you sit for the NCLEX, the RN NCLEX. So be prepared for the rigor. You need to be ready and willing to work. You need to be ready and willing to do a lot of busy work. You need to be ready and willing to learn how to write properly. Because keep in mind, you go into another level of education. So I've seen a lot of students who are like, okay, well, I'll say write a paragraph and a paragraph be 2 sentences long. Who do that? My third grader, my son's in third grade, can write a 6-sentence paragraph. So if you're trying to get a bachelor's degree, you're going to write at least 6 sentences for me for a paragraph. Form thoughts and have a complete thought when you convey those on paper or however you type them up. So you're going to work for this degree. It's rigorous. It's usually accelerated. Um, there's a lot of travel if you're going to clinicals. What else? That's the biggest, and it's expensive. But nursing school is expensive in general. It's just expensive. So I really don't know what she wanted to know specifically or advice she wanted. But if you happen to watch this video, please comment below, and I will either do another video to follow up on this one to answer your question specifically, or whatever you need me to do to give you that. But that's the biggest things I would say when it comes to a bridge program. Again, make sure your programs are accredited. I'm going to keep telling you that. Make sure it's an accredited program, and make sure you check out their NCLEX pass rate. I don't care what kind of program it is, LPN to RN, LPN to BSN, whatever program you look up, make sure it's an accredited program, and make sure that it has a noteworthy NCLEX pass first time NCLEX pass rate. First time is the key word or the operative word there. I have seen some schools who will post a 98% pass rate, but it may be after the second or third attempt. You don't want that. You want a school that has an NCLEX pass rate the first time of typically 85% or above. Now, your board of nursing in the state that you live in governs what the passing score has to be. Check with the board of nursing to know what the passing score has to be, and then check with the school to see if they meet that criteria. Your school that you pick should have it posted on their page what their NCLEX pass rate is. If they do not have it posted on their page, you go to your Board of Nursing's website, and they have every school listed in your state and with their NCLEX pass rate for at least the past 5 years, at least. So, or typically, if they only have the past 2 years, it is what it is. But typically it's the last at least 5 years. So that's what I recommend you doing for any program. But again, for the LPN to RN or BSN program, bridge program, or if you are late coming back to school, or just not late, but it's been a while since you've been in school, get yourself acclimated to what you need to do regarding transportation, regarding tuition, regarding your work life schedule, regarding your children if you have children, regarding all those things, because those will wreak havoc on you if you are not able to handle those things, plus the requirements of going to school. Nursing school is rigorous no matter when you go, no matter what level of education you are. If you do the accelerated program, it's even more rigorous because it's faster, it's accelerated. So they're going to have more work for you to do in a shorter period of time versus going to a traditional 2-year program, which will be 2 years, or going to a traditional 4-year program, which will be, again, 4 years, depending on how many prereqs you have to take. Be mindful of those types of things. So hopefully this helped you, the person who asked the question. Hopefully this helped you if you happen to be the person who's really wanting to know, should I go to a LPN to RN program versus a traditional program? Again, the biggest differences are acceleration time, how accelerated they are in those bridge programs, as well as the fact that they typically cost a lot more money, as well as the fact that they typically are for the working adult. So because they are typically for the more working adults, they usually can, I won't say accommodate you a whole lot, but they're aware that you are working. So therefore they schedule clinicals typically on the weekend because you need to schedule yourself during the week. If you happen to work weekends and weekends only, you need to find another gig until you finish school, or until you can go to school, or until you finish school, or you need to think that through. Research everything like I just told you to, and I think that's pretty much it. So comment below any questions you may have. I love the questions. That gives me great ideas for videos that you want to see. So I will do these videos because 9 times out of 10, if you have a question on it, somebody else has that same question on it. So definitely comment below your video comments or things that you wanted me to do a video on. I'd be happy to oblige. Also, subscribe to this channel if you have not already. It is free. I don't know what you're waiting on. You like the material. You keep coming back, so I don't know why you don't, just subscribe. If the nursing content does not tickle your fancy, that's not your thing, but you like the makeup and beauty, well, subscribe for that reason. If the makeup and beauty is not your thing, but you like the nursing, well, subscribe for that reason. If nothing else, just subscribe for the fact that we are trying to get to 2K, and I have people out here who want us to do a live Q&A, and I did a nursing exercise, critical thinking exercise on my channel. It's about 30 minutes long for that exercise. I will do those live as well. So I just kind of did that video just to give a sample about what I would be doing. But I did that, or I'll be doing that as well. So if you want more of that, then you have to subscribe so we can get to 2K and get this channel where it needs to be. I'm hoping to start that in April sometime. That way it gets me through this semester that I'm teaching. I am teaching 4 classes this semester. So It gets me through my semester and ready to then focus on YouTube at that point in time, because I'll be done with school by the end of April. So hopefully by April we will start the live sessions, contingent upon me being at 2K. Anyway, also follow me on IG. The handle is somewhere on here. And guess what? Your girl is on TikTok now. Go follow me on TikTok. I will have that on here as well. Now, TikTok, I'm going to go ahead and tell you now. I just started like the other day. So, or by the time you see this, whenever it is what it is, but I just started the other day. And that's going to be my, I think, my fun thing to do. I mean, I enjoy YouTube, but I'm more serious here because this is the content I'm trying to give you that is serious. But, you know, I like to play with music and dance and have a good time just like the rest of them. So that's going to be like my fun side. IG is more so where it's unapologetically me. That's just who I am. A lot of the memes I have on there is exactly how I think, is how I talk, is how I am. That's just me. So if you happen to like that thing, follow me on IG over there. Again, follow me everywhere, basically. And that's pretty much it. Until the next time, you all take care. Let's chat in the comments. Take care. Bye-bye.